Philippine Government Electronic Procurement System, or Philgeps, was established in the year 2000 as the government's internet-based central portal that will host all public procurement information. It is intended to be the total electronic solutions provider for processes in procurement that can be digitized, simplified, and made more efficient.
The e-bidding system will enable efficiencies in the public procurement regime in the Philippines, such that the e-bidding will now look into more transparent procurement system. It will be more competitive and will bring about less human intervention. It will be more cost efficient, and of course it is secured, therefore we gain trust from the bidders or the market operators.
The government presently conducts procurement processes manually to include the submission and receipt of bids. Government buyers post their bid requirements in Philgeps and update their postings with bid results. Merchants, like contractors, dealers, and consultants, on the other hand, are electronically notified of these opportunities by the Philgeps in their emails, but still have to manually submit their bids to the procuring entities. Prior to publication at Philgeps, www.philgeps.gov.ph, government procuring entities were required to post in 2 newspapers for 3 consecutive weeks. Later, it was reduced to 2, so that GPEs have to pay for advertisements, which consequentially does not even guarantee a wider dissemination of information nor merchant readership. It is also limited to the invitation to bid, which contains limited information on the project, so that merchants need to go to the procuring entity to get complete information about the project. Bid documents. Some GPEs fail to upload their bid documents, while others include discretionary, non-standard bidding TOR requirements. Also, high fees for obtaining bid documents abound, despite standardized fees prescribed by guidelines on the sale of bidding documents approved by the GPPB. Bid preparation. Merchants must gather, collate, reproduce hard copies and reproductions of their bid submissions at every participation in bid tenders upon payment of the bid document fee. Manually preparing bids is prone to mistakes, like missing out on some documents and arithmetical computation errors. There is always the possibility of being late when manually submitting a bid that requires physically dropping submissions in the bid box of the procuring entity. Manual bidding requires the physical presence in a quorum of the Bids and Awards Committee. The BAC support staff in the Secretariat and the TWG have to manually render reports, such as abstract of bids as read, post-qualification reports, etc., which can be time-consuming. Internet-based bid opportunities posted by government procuring entities at www.philgeps.gov.ph.
It allows for a wider participation of vendors. Kung online ka, you don't need to be in Metro Manila. And as many people in the Visayas as Imperial Manila. Now, you can have bidding in Manila without having to be in Manila because all those bids are posted.
Merchants can also simplify there by using the bid matching feature of the system, which allows them to receive by email information on open bid opportunities that match their line of business. Electronic copies of bid documents are made available for downloading in the Philgeps. Under the eBid submission module, complete uploading of material project information like TORs, bid activity schedules, bid forms, bid supplements, minutes, bid results, and the like are required to be done by all government procuring entities. All bidding documents, templates, and bid fees are in compliance with the GPPB approved standards and guidelines. E-bidding allows merchants the uploading and posting of certain eligibility and post-qualification documents in the Philgeps system. Merchants are likewise notified via prompts of the expiry of such documents, so these can be constantly updated. In e-bidding, merchants simply need to fill out forms, upload documents, and submit bids at the click of a button. It will help materialize greater efficiencies in procurement, including paperless and green procurement. E-bidding drastically lowers bid preparation costs for merchants. They can prepare bids online ahead of time, save such as drafts, and finalize their submissions in time for the deadline of bid submission. Incomplete bids cannot be submitted as checklists. Standard bill of quantities and templates are provided in the system, thus avoiding errors and costly mistakes. In e-bidding, submissions are made online and timestamp of sending is the time when the merchant clicks the submit button in the system. Merchants do not have to deal with traffic or other inconveniences that physical submission of bids usually entail.
So in an e-bidding system, so you have all this address, the time, the acceptance, and then there's also the record of when was the bid submitted, when was it accepted by the system, and this is all recorded digitally. So nobody can tweak on this and nobody can sort of tamper the system.
There is also confidentiality in the system, as procuring entities will not know until the bid opening who among the potential bidders actually submitted the bid. Bids and Awards Committee quorum is established upon validation and verification of login details. In the full implementation of e-bidding, the abstract of bids as read and like reports and notices can be generated from the system, making for a more efficient processing and communication among multiple bidders. The timelines by which bid evaluation and post-qualification should be undertaken can be prescribed in e-bidding, so that procuring entities are prompted about completing all projects within the timelines set forth in the procurement law. Bidders can monitor the status of opening, evaluation, and post-qualification online, as the BAC records the opening and evaluation results. Even reasons for the delay of procurement projects like resolution of MRs and protests and bid failures must be reflected in the status of bid opportunities, and all these information enhance the transparency and openness of the procurement process. Other benefits. E-bidding allows orderless procurement where there were more suppliers participating, resulting in more competition and value for money for procuring entities. E-bidding not only drastically reduces manual paperwork, but also improves the facilitation of audit, as all information and documentation is web-based, easily accessible, and cannot be altered. There is better balance of power between buyer and seller, given that information is much more available and discretionary, and biased procurement practices are avoided or easily detected. E-bidding and e-procurement in general also allow more efficient integration of supply chains and provide better organization and tracking of transaction records for easier processing of information like evaluation of budgets as against spending.
Part of that information is the depository bank of the merchant. It puts us in a position where we can actually pay direct digitally from the treasurer all the way to the supplier. Then that reduces the required signatures, which reduces opportunities or temptations for bribery. Also reduces the paper requirement and improves the audit trail. Because when you pay someone digitally, there's always a log somewhere, and which will then be the basis of a more comprehensive, more accurate audit trail.
in a very short period of time, in fact, in just 3 years, we have shown what a platform of good governance can do to a country. We have restored people's trust in their government. We have been able to provide in an unprecedented manner social protection and social services to our people. We are soon going to be able to meet all the resource requirements for basic education and public health. We have expanded the economy to a point where we are now the leader of Asia and recognized to be among the best performing economies in the world. So the future is very bright for this country because we are now on a growth trajectory. So to our investors, to suppliers, contractors, there is really more to come for this country. And it is really a challenge for us to make sure that we further transcend what we have already gained by way of dramatic improvements over the past 3 years. There's more to come for the Philippines, and I'm sure the Philippines continues to be a leader, not just in economic growth, but many aspects of social, political, and economic life in the region.